or some sort of passion.
Okay. Well, yeah, they said she online. I mean, I don't know.
Okay, but I'm online. So.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Okay, all right. So, just want to teach the GED math. I'm hoping y'all can see the board from here. It looks very small. So I will try to do better. I think I need a camera thing to kind of zoom in and zoom out. And I need that kind of thing. So that's going to be my next thing to work on. That's going to be my next thing to work on. Okay, so we're going to be talking about number operations. And number operations comes from one of my GED books that I teach from. This is a Steck and Bun GED book. It's 2013. I like it. Makes it real plain, real easy to learn. So I just rather teach from there. But the book that I have usually for my students to learn from, and maybe update it if you want to, is this by Kaplan. So if you have this, it's fine, But I like to explain things to make it a little bit more simpler because I'm a root kind of teacher, and I like to make sure that you learn things from the root and as simple as possible. Okay. Okay, now we're going to be learning about numbers and operations. Numbers and operations. Okay, so numbers are an important part of your daily life, as we discussed the other day. Have you calculated the number of miles between where you are and where you want to go? When was the last time that you estimated whether or not you had enough cash to purchase items in a store? Have you ever paid for a bill and then figured out how much left you had to pay? All of these everyday actions rely on your understanding of numbers, number sense, and basic math operations. So as I stated before, if you understand arithmetic, and arithmetic is basically adding, subtracting, multiplication, okay? And then you learn how to divide, okay? So the next thing you need to learn is about numeracy. And that's what we're going to be learning about today, numeracy. And we're going to be learning about place value. Place value, okay? It's real important to understand place value. Now, some of you out there may already understand what is place value, okay? Some of you are going to already know what that is. But like I said before, math is learned in layers. So when they're learned in layers, you'll understand every step that you go. And then when you start doing operations, which is PEMDAS, and then you start learning more about pre-algebra and algebra, everything has a function based on its operation. So you got to understand everything from layers. If not, if you're going this level and you don't understand, you got to come down 1 or 2 levels to understand what the next 2 levels of where you are. Okay? All right, so a place value. Whole numbers are made up of these 10 digits, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The number 3820 has 4 digits. 1 million is a 7-digit number, although 6 of the digits are the same. Our number system is based on place value. Place value means that the number of digits depend on its position or place or in a number. The chart shows the names of the first 12 whole number places. Okay, so let's look at this chart here. Okay, so I'm very sure you all understand that if I write $1, and we know that $1 has 1 before the decimal and zeros after that, okay? So these will start reading a little bit differently. This is the ones place. This is the tens place, okay? And if I keep going backwards this way, then we automatically know that this is going to be the what?
Hundreds.
Hundreds place, okay? Hundreds place, okay? So this deals with whole. This deals with part, okay? Now you're probably saying, well, Ms. Harper, why am I learning about wholes and parts? Okay, because if there's a number before the decimal, then that means that's a whole dollar,
okay,
or a whole $5, or a whole $10. Okay, if I say 59, is 5 and then 9.
Mhm.
59. So that 9 is in the tens place. That 5 is in the ones place. So that lets you know it's not whole, but it's part of the dollar.
Understand.
Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Okay, I hope y'all get that. Okay, so when we learn about wholes and parts and place value, then this transcends over for us to understand what? Fractions.
Okay.
Remember what I said? Math is learned in layers. So if you understand place value, numbers, decimals, you understand whole, part, then once we start going into fractions, which is going to be the next thing after this packet, then you'll understand how wholes and parts make sense. Okay? All right, so we have here on this sheet here, where this says right here, okay, so we have hundreds, tens, ones, okay? This is in the thousands place, 10,000s place, hundreds place, million, 10 million, and so on and so forth. So this is 30 and then 596. All right, so the total value of a number is the sum of values in the digit in each place. What is the value of each digit for 30,596? Okay, so we have to look at it. The 6 is in the ones place. The 9 is in the tens place. The 5 is in the hundreds place. Okay. Then we have the 0 is in the thousands place, because if we had, let's say for example, if we had $1,000, then this would make sense why this is in the thousands place.
Mhm.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. And then we have over here in the 10,000s place. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Okay, awesome. Let's go to the next page, 359. Reading and writing numbers. So when writing a number, place commas every 3 digits. Okay? 1, 2, 3, comma. This is 1, 2, 3, comma.
Mhm.
This is 1, 2. If I had one more right here, and then if I wanted to go another digit over, let's just say, for example, I put 1 right here, and I put 2 right here. So now I have 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3, comma.
Right.
Okay. Now, if you really pay attention to like debit cards or credit cards, you notice how they go for 4 numbers,
Mhm.
space, another 4 numbers,
Yeah.
space, another 4 numbers. It's easy to remember it that way, because if people understand place value, you'll understand how to memorize your debit card number.
That's pretty cool. I was about to try to look at it.
I learned that in the education seminar.
Even when you said it, I'm like, it actually does.
Yeah, look at it.
Yeah, in sets.
It's sets of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. So if you understand 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, then if you have 1, 2, 3 memorized, you should memorize your debit card or credit card number. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. All right. So when writing a number, place commas every 3 digits counting from the right. Each group of 3 digits is called a period and is named from the number placed to the left of the comma. Left of the comma. Okay? All right. Always read a number from left to right. Read each group of digits before the comma, then say the name of the period of the comma represents. So when we write a number in the word exactly as you read it out loud, do not say or write the word and or ones. So if I'm saying that this right here is 30,596, that's incorrect.
Okay.
Never say and never say ones. Okay, it's 30,596. That's the proper way to speak that.
Okay.
In conversation. Okay, even if you have to write it out in a check, you have to write out 30. Now it's a little bit different. You have to write out 30,596 and 0 over 100 cents.
Okay, we'll get to that a little later. So read the number here where it says 12,950,068. So how I'm writing this, I'm writing 12,900, is that 50,000?
068.
068. 12,950,068. Not 12,950 and $68. That's not how you say that. The proper way to say that is 12,950,068.
Not cents.
No.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So rounding the whole numbers. Use rounding to make difficult calculations easier to perform. Round the numbers you are working with when you do not need an exact answer. So let's look at 1. Round the number 24,000. 24,902. 24,902. 24,902 should be written 24, 902. Okay. Step 1, find the digit you want to round to. So we already know, we should have been taught somewhere in grade school when we're rounding numbers, we want to round to the nearest place. Okay. And we know already that if a number is 5 or more, then it yields to be the next number up. You just add 1. Okay?
Question.
Yes.
Just from my recollection, we still make that rounding up or down based on the number behind that number, correct?
Right. And when the question on the test asks you to round to the nearest 10th place, round to the nearest 100th place.
What does that mean?
Okay, what does that mean? Remember what I said. Okay, well, let's go backwards this way. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, right?
Okay.
If I say round to the nearest 10th place. Okay, so we already know that this is in the what? The 9 is in the 10th place. 30,596. 30, 596. I'm saying it because I know folks can't see this from a distance, so I have to say it out loud. I got folks chiming. Okay, so now I'm going to round this. The instruction says to round to the nearest 10th place. So this is in the 10th place. So I'm looking at this 9 here in the 10th place. So since is 9 more than 5 or less than 5?
More.
Is more than 5. So therefore, if 9 is more than 5, then this is going to make this 6 change. So now what I do is I round it off and I'm going to add a 1. Okay, so now this will become 30,506. 30,600. 30,600. This erases that and becomes a 0. This add to that make a 0, and then I carry a 1 over here. Okay, so now 1 plus 9 is 0. So 1 plus 9 is 10.
Carry the 1.
Carry the 1. 0 here, 1 here, make this a 6. So now this is going to be 30,600. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Doesn't matter about the 6 being a 0 or a 7. It's not going to be a 7. It's going to be a 0. Okay. You understand?
Yes.
Okay.
Because you're rounding up.
I'm rounding up.
To the nearest dollar?
To the nearest 10.
To the nearest 10.
Because the instructions said, I'm just telling you in my head what the instruction. The instruction says round to the nearest 10th place. If you're rounding to the nearest 1 place, then this would change. And then this is 6 is more than 5. Okay, so I would add 1 to this. This would now be 7. So now this would be $30,597.
$7. I got you. Because you're only focusing on the 1's place.
Yeah, on the place that it wants you to focus on.
Correct.
Okay, we got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. All right. Now, let's skip on down. We got that understood. Now we're gonna do some work here. We're gonna do some work. So let me move this. All right. So now, once I've moved this out the way, we're going to do some assignments here. So on this assignment, I have this, and if you want to pause the camera to look at this, and we're going to be working on this top assignment right here. Okay, so we're going to write the value of the underlined digits in the word. We're going to write the value. So we see that the value for the first one is 5, 517, underlining 5. Then the next one is going to be 3, 742, 691. And the value that we need to understand or change is going to be under the 3. Under the 3, okay? Then the next one is going to be a 4, 700, 510. So the number that we're going to focus on is 7. Okay. Now we're going to have 9, 6, 4, 2, 5, 1. And the number we're going to focus on is 5. Okay. I'm going to give you all a few minutes to work on that, and then we'll come back to it. So go ahead. I'm going to give you a few minutes to work on that. Remember the place value, and if you need to go back to the original sheet to understand place value, then you can use your sheet here to understand the place value. Okay. Okay. Have you done it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So what place value is number 1?
100.
100. Okay. Is it 100, 200, 300, 500?
Regular. The regular 100.
Regular 100.
What you mean?
Okay. So since it is recognizing the 5, it is in the hundreds place, but it's in the 500s place.
Oh yeah, 500. Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so I put 500.
Mm-hmm. Okay, it's in the 500 place. Okay. Now tell me about the 3.
The 3 is in the millions.
Okay, so the 3 is in the millions, so is it 1, 2, or 3 million?
3 million.
3 million.
Is that how you would write it, or would you just write millions?
You can write million, but it's proper to recognize that it's in the millions place, but it's 3 million place.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, all right. Number 3, what place is the 7?
The 700,000.
700 place.
700 place, yeah.
Yeah, you said it right, 700,000. So 700,000. All right. What place is the 5 in?
Tens.
Okay,
5 tens.
5 tens, okay, but it says 50. But I take what you're saying, 5 tens, but it's in the 50 place.
Okay.
All right. All right, now let's look at the next set. Okay. The next set we're going to be working on, just a minute, is going to be rounding each number as directed. Refer to the chart on page 458. So now we're going to round numbers. Remember what we just said. So we're going to be rounding 8,671. And so it wants you to round it to the nearest or round to the hundredths place. And you're gonna write your answer here, okay? And then you gotta round 5,099,620. And it wants you to round to the nearest million place. Nearest million place. Okay. Have you answered that already?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, awesome.
Yes, ma'am.
What would be your answer for 8,671?
8,771.
8,000, not 71, 8,700.
Oh, just 700.
8,700. Okay, hundreds place. So since again, this is in the hundreds place, so we're going to add the 1, make this a 7, and these automatically behind it become zeros.
Okay.
Okay. All right, let's look at number 6. We got to round it to the nearest million place. Nearest million place.
I got
so
6 million.
Very good. $6 million, like the $6 million man. You're too young, you wouldn't know that.
I have no idea.
Yeah, you have no idea what that is. I do. I grew up with that. Yeah. Okay, awesome. Okay, now we're moving on to page 460. Comparing, ordering, and grouping. Now, I don't think this is a permanent. I don't have the erasable kind, and I'm gonna get some erasables next time. I
You
have
want to
them.
see if they have one in the office?
If you could, if they don't, that's fine. But if they have different colors, perfect. I
Okay.
like to write in colors. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna send this to this person right quick. Send this to this person right quick. Oh, thank you, Lord. Oh, thank you. Let me send him those applications. Ugh. Okay, let's see here. Let me do this right quick. I promised to send him this and I kept forgetting.
And I told her we'll return.
Oh, that's sweet. Thank you. Oh, yes.
Save you some trees.
Yeah, save me a lot of trees. Save me a lot of trees. Okay, I'm trying to send this, let me do this one form that I promised to send this person. Let's see here.
I watched your cursive writing.
Mm-hmm.
And I come from the era where they still taught you how to write cursive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know if they teach it in schools no more, but
They took it out.
that's literally how I was always taught to write.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
That's crazy they took it out.
They did. And that made me real sad. I think they took it out. What was I teaching at that other school? Let's see, 2012?
That's crazy.
They took it
all
out.
in year.
All of,
That I remember learning that in third grade.
Yeah. Well, you start off slowly in first grade.
Yeah.
And then you start off slowly in first grade. And then they kind of, advance you as you go. But I don't know why.
That just don't even make no sense.
That don't make no sense. Obviously, I think it was, no
and
offense.
Especially because people's manuscript is so bad.
Huh?
I said especially because some people's manuscript is so bad.
Yes. And I still teach it to folks, whether you 7 years old or 17, or 27. I still teach the value of it simply because if you print your name on a permanent document, anybody can mimic the print of your name.
Exactly.
But if you write your name in cursive, a fancy way or a certain way, that's hard to mimic. That's your personal signature. Nobody else can really mimic that unless they are really that good.
Right.
Okay, I try to open it as neat as I could. Oh yeah, I got it. I just try to open it where I can put it back in there.
Okay.
I'm sorry if it don't look nice. I just want to make sure I put it back in there to give it back to him. Okay, all right. Thank you so much. And I like writing in color anyway. Blue and then green. Awesome. Yeah, I like demonstrating in color. That's going to save me a whole lot of tree. Okay, so let's move on to the next thing, comparing and ordering groups. Okay, comparing, ordering, and grouping. That's going to be on page 460. Let me take these out my pocket.
So you don't accidentally use it.
Yeah, because this would be a horrible thing, and I can't get that off the board. Okay. When shopping, you often compare prices to find the best buy. You can use the following rules when comparing whole numbers. So rule number 1, the whole number with the most digits is always greater. So compare 7,235 to 848. The number 2,035 has 4 digits. It's greater than 848. Now, comparing greater lesser than, greater, lesser than. Remember when we talked about in school, greater than, lesser than, equal to, or not equal to? Remember seeing that in school before?
Yes, ma'am.
You see how the math is learning now in layers?
Mhm.
You just learned about
You jogging
wholes
my
and
memory.
parts.
Yeah.
Okay, you just learned about wholes and parts,
Mhm.
okay, in basic place value in decimals. Now, we're still on that same line, but now we're gonna talk about greater than, less than, equal to, and not equal to, okay? All right, so let's look at this. Comparing 7,235 and 848. So the number 7,235 has 4 digits, which is greater than 7,235 is greater than 848. Okay? All right, rule number 2. When two numbers have the same number of digits, compare the digits from left to right. So for example, we have 646. We have 646 is less than 690, okay? Less than 690 because 40 is less than 90. The 40, this 4 is in the tens place.
Correct.
So we have 4 in the tens place. So if it's 4 in the tens place, which is in the tens place as a 10, but we have 40 here, which is 4 times in the tens place, that means it is 40.
Mhm.
Understand?
That makes sense.
Makes sense. Okay. And
Question real quick. Sorry to interrupt. So each place that you would skip, you can use that same method.
pretty much,
Okay.
pretty much,
Okay.
pretty much. Okay. And 40 is less than 90. 90 is also in the
10th place.
tens place. But how many times is 9 in the tenth place? 9 times. So it is 90. Okay, so 40 is less than 90. Okay, all right, so equals greater, less. We see all of that. Using the same rules, you could put several numbers in order of value. So let's look at number 1 here. We're looking at number 1 on my little worksheet here. If you want to pause it to read along with us, take a picture of it if you can. That's perfectly fine. All right. So an internet company sells books, toys, and videos. Yesterday, the company recorded these sales in each category. So we have books that are 1,247, toys that are 1,271, and videos 990. Arrange the sales in order from least to greatest. Okay, so let's look at this. We have 1,247. And we have 1,271. And we have 990. So we need to put this from least to greatest. So what would be the least number we need to put first?
990.
990. Okay, so we need to do 990 first. And then what would be the next set?
The next one would be 1247.
So next would be 1247, okay, or 1,247. And what would be the next one?
The third would be 1,271.
1,271. Okay, so you see the order here. Okay, you see the order here: the 9, the 4, the 7, the 9, the 2, and it says from least to greatest. Okay, so from least to greatest, the sales are 990, 1,247, and 1,271. Understanding place value can also help you find the range that contains a certain number. So Samuel is looking for a file number 13496. A label on front of each drawer tells the range of file numbers in the drawer. So for example, drawer A contains files numbered under 13090 to 13274, which drawer contains file number 13496. So we have different drawers here. So we're going to compare 13496 to the signs. File 13496 will be between two numbers on the correct drawer. Since 13496 is greater than 13491 and less than 13598, the file is found, which is C. Okay, which drawer contains 13496? So we're looking at that, the different drawers. Now, look at these different drawers. I know you're young, but maybe in kindergarten, maybe. And I was in college when you were born.
You keep telling me.
Do you remember anything about the Dewey Decimal System?
No. Now that is a throwback.
That is a throwback.
Well, I want to hear about it.
Okay. All right. So, in the Dewey Decimal System of the Library of Congress, in the library, in public libraries, okay, this was called the catalog system.
Okay.
The catalog system.
I remember the catalog system.
The catalog system. And whenever you want to find a certain book or a certain subject, you would go to the catalog, and the Dewey Decimal System, which was invented by someone by the name of Dewey, helped define how to catalog books in order to find books on different shelves in the library.
Okay.
Okay, you would know if you go to the reference section, the political science section, the arts section, the biology section, you pretty much know where to go and what area does it fall in between of the numbers of the books. Okay, all right. So this drawer has a similar pattern to that. Okay, now again, when you're learning numbers, you're learning math for your life. You're learning math because somewhere in your career, you're going to need to know some form of math. Even a person working at McDonald's still needs to know how to give your change back, even though the computer is going to tell them how to give it back, but they got to know which ones, which tens, which hundreds to give back to you. It's very vital and important. So at the same time, we're teaching you job skills. These are transferable job skills. Okay? All right, so let's move on to page 461, choosing the operation. All right, so now we're going to learn how to choose the operation. I'm going to bring this up to the camera again so you can have a good look at this. If you want to pause the film, you can, to write it down. Why do we need to understand choosing the operation or the operation system? Well, we need to understand it for problem solving. Okay, we need to understand how to solve algebra. I hope I spelled algebra right. Okay, we need to also maybe learn how to follow instructions. For an ingredient.
That's good.
Ingredient. I hope I spelled that right.
That's good for cooking.
For cooking.
That's good.
Or follow instructions to mix chemicals. Whether you're doing chemicals for your hair, chemicals in the lab, you have to understand how to choose the operation. So to solve math word problems, you have to take or make several decisions. You need to decide what the question is asking you. What is the question asking you? Is it asking you to add, subtract, multiply, or divide. Okay? Now, I'm going to transcend some words here. I was just teaching a class yesterday about antonyms and synonyms. Okay? Synonyms are words that are opposite. Okay? Synonyms are words that are similar or maybe a different word, but it's saying the same thing. Okay? So if a word in a word problem is saying, what is the sum of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? What is the difference of 24 and 13? Okay? How many multiples or more? Okay? Or how many pairs of a thing? These are synonyms to addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Okay, you got it?
Mhm.
All right. I'm going to change pen colors.
That's really important. Because for myself, when I'm working word problems,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where I fall off at, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not understanding the terminology of what they're asking. Like, you know how to add and subtract, but if you don't know that when they're saying sum, they really mean add,
Mm-hmm.
you doing the wrong operation, basically.
Right. Mm-hmm. Very good. Very good. You got it. You got it. Okay. So let's look at, I'm just going to park this a bit. Okay. Oh, this light. It's real light. Okay. Let me do blue. I gotta remember to put these back because I will walk away with them. And I don't mean no harm.
I got you.
Okay, thank you. Please remind me to put them back because I will walk away with them. Okay, so we know here, this is like to add. We know subtract. We know multiply. You just need to be warmed up. I think that's what that is. When we know to divide. So the symbols, we got the terms, we just need to understand the symbols. Okay, again, listen to me. You understand now how to synonymize terms. Okay, we know that this is the symbol for add. This is the symbol for subtract. This is the symbol for multiply. This is the symbol for divide, okay? These are what they are. When we get ready to learn pre-algebra and algebra, you got to understand the place value of where that plus is,
Okay.
where that negative is.
Okay.
When we get ready to learn about PEMDAS operations, you got to understand where everything is and what comes first.
And just to make sure I understand what we at right now. So what you're saying is eventually these symbols will be interjected with what we learned previously on where they go in a number or what they mean.
And what they mean.
So the symbols can actually be a place on the number chart. In algebra.
In algebra.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
On the number chart in the algebra.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay.
I
But
learned
these,
that for some time, but I'm with
it's
you.
okay.
Mhm.
But just know for right now,
Mhm.
these are what they are.
Okay.
Okay? All right. So we know also that when we see about add or a plus sign, it means combine qualities or find the total. Let's go back to this. So now, combine or find total. Okay? We're transcending again. We're synonymizing again. If it says, what is the sum? If it says, combine and give the total. Okay, that's another word too.
That all mean the same thing, basically.
It all means the same thing. Okay, and if you ever want to stop and take pictures of what I wrote, you're more than welcome to do that.
Mhm.
I usually let my students take pictures.
Okay.
Once I finish the
I'll
whole
write
board.
too, just because that's how I write.
Yeah. So I'll let you do it when I finish the whole board,
Okay.
and then I'll give you a chance to take pictures. Okay, now here it is. We already have subtract means find the difference. This means quantity. Okay, take away. Okay, compare to find how many more. I know you've seen that in a word problem before.
Yes.
How many more? Okay, or how much less? Or how much is left? Okay, so the quantity, take away. If Johnny went to the store and he bought 10 apples, but he took 4 away out of the 10, how many apples are left?
6.
6. So if he took away
I got
or take away,
you.
then what is that telling you to do? What operation is that telling you to do?
Subtract.
Subtract. If Johnny went to the store, he bought 10 red apples and 4 green, no wait, he bought 10 red apples. Later that afternoon, he bought 2 times the amount of apples that he bought at the store this morning. So we know this morning he bought 10 apples, right?
Mm-hmm.
He bought 2 times more the apples than he did this morning. What are we going to do to find out how many more apples he bought? So let me write that down. Okay. So Johnny bought 10 apples this morning.
Mm-hmm.
He went back this afternoon and bought 2 times more than this morning a.m. Okay? How many more did he buy?
You want me to answer it?
Yes.
20.
20. Very good. 20. Now, he bought 20, so he bought 20 more
The
apples.
second time.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I meant to say. 'Cause then-
20 more apples the second time. Okay, so you needed to figure that out. But he gave away 4 of the total.
Okay. That's,
How many was left?
answer?
Yes.
26.
26. Okay, so now you understand.
Yeah. I understand because of the say that word you said?
Synonyms.
No, the other
It's
word.
been synonymized.
Synonymized, yeah.
Synonymized.
I mean groups.
Grouped. So you'll understand if I'm saying one word and I'm saying this word,
They mean the same.
but they mean the same. You understand it in the conversation of my math lingo that I'm saying the same thing. I'm just being fancy of how I'm telling you.
Yeah.
If I'm telling you this way, and you interpret it back to me that way,
Yeah.
but we speak in the same language, then we are on the same what?
Page.
Page.
Yeah, we're saying the same thing.
We're saying the same
Just
thing.
different ways.
Just different ways.
Gotcha. Okay.
We have synonymized.
Synonymized.
Okay?
I'm using that today in a sentence.
Now, you go home, Savannah, I have learned how to synonymize my math term.
Hello.
Okay. Okay. Let's go back to this.
Okay.
All right. So now, oh, did I finish that? No, I didn't finish that.
We're on multiple.
Yeah, we're on multiplication. Okay, I didn't finish that. Give me a minute. We didn't finish that. All right. Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. Oh. Okay, so multiplication. Put together a number of equal amounts. Okay, now let me help you understand this sign here.
Okay.
This sign can have two meanings.
That's the
At
symbol.
or amount. Now, old school, before internet, this was known as amount.
Okay.
Okay? If you were a nurse or a physician or working in pharmacology, we spoke to you in this symbol.
Okay.
In healthcare. Okay? But if I'm saying, I will meet you at the store, then we understand this is at.
Yes.
Or da 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 da
At
Gmail.
Yeah.
Okay? So back in the old day, this meant at or amount.
Okay.
Amount. Okay? So I just want to clear that
Do
up.
they still use? Because I've never heard that before in my life. Like that's good knowledge. I never even heard it. Do they still use that terminology on the testing?
Not on the test.
That's just
But
something.
that was just something extra
We should know.
that I wanted you to know.
Okay. Okay.
That I wanted you to know. So
What about in life?
sometimes in life it was like that. In life,
Yeah.
you know, it was like that in life. Amount, at.
Yeah, because I was just thinking, how many times have we been in a situation and we thought they meant at, and they really meant amount if it wasn't a Gmail or a Yahoo behind it.
Yeah, that goes a little bit deep. Yeah, we can look into that.
Right.
But I know in the medical world, dealing with medicines, we call it amount.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just wanted to kind of peek that out there. You can kind of share that with Savannah.
I'm sure will.
The hospital symbol that we use in medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the total amount. Okay. Or to find the total. To find the total. Okay, to find the total. Or add the same number repeatedly.
That makes sense.
Okay. Okay, how you doing? Okay, this right here. I know everybody calls it hashtag.
That's crazy, like.
Okay.
So it's just crazy because I feel like now all of our new slang originated from old school math.
Yeah, they just redid it.
Right.
Okay, so add the same number. So when I do this, if I'm talking to you like this means number, not hashtag.
I got you.
Okay.
I got you.
Do you see how?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That definitely makes more sense.
It makes more sense.
Right. Yeah.
So I warn my students like that. Even when I teach medical records building and coding, medical terminology and stuff, sometimes I write SX. Like I write SX means surgery.
Never knew.
PX means
Pharmacy.
procedure. DX means diagnosis.
RX means
what you said.
pharmacy. Okay.
Pharmacy.
I see that one a lot.
TX means not Texas.
Okay.
Treatment.
Okay.
Okay, so sometimes I talk to my students when I teach that in that lingo. Why? Because, and I'm just digressing, give me a minute. Because if you're dealing with colleagues in the health professions, whatever all that is, you have to understand if somebody's being real short and writing you something real short, you have to know what that means, what language they're talking about.
Mhm.
You may not know because you're not part of the health professions.
Right.
But if somebody wrote a note to me and used some of this, I know what they're talking
Exactly. Automatic.
automatically.
Yeah.
You know, these are not cuss words to me.
Or abbreviations for states.
Yes, or abbreviations for states. This is not Pennsylvania and Rhode Island. That's something else. Okay, just having a little fun. Okay, divide. Divide can also mean split. Split a quantity. Uh-oh. Split a quantity into equal parts.
I have a question just
Yes.
regarding this. How would you, for somebody who struggles in word problems and that's learning now, what would a word problem look like for division using split the like that? What would that look like?
If I had a hot pocket,
Okay.
you like hot pockets,
I do.
right? Everybody like hot. So if I had a hot pocket, or you had a hot pocket, I brought to you, Savannah brought to you and gave you a hot pocket. She probably, honey, this is all I got. You got to split this up between you and the two boys.
Okay.
Okay? Well, you got one whole hot pocket. How many parts
For everybody?
from that one hot pocket?
Not including Savannah.
Not including Savannah. Because she gave it to you.
Three parts.
3 equal parts.
Mm-hmm.
You get a piece, a mirror,
Mm-hmm. And a side.
and a side. Okay? So if you cut this in 3 equal pieces, now I got to ask you, what is the part for each person? What is the part for each person?
It would be a third.
A third of what?
A third of the hot pocket, right?
A third of the hot pocket.
The whole thing.
So it was one hot pocket
Mm-hmm.
divided by how many people?
3 people.
3 people. There's your fraction.
Mm-hmm. And then you can see it on the diagram.
1/3, 1/3, 1/3.
So 3/3 equal a whole.
3/3 equal a whole.
I would have never known. You would have did
Right. 3/3 equals 1.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes.
Look at this. 1, 1, 1. That equals what? 3.
Mm-hmm.
The denominator stays the same. Equals a what?
1 whole.
You see how you're getting this because you needed to understand how to process it.
Yeah.
You needed to visually see it,
Yeah.
discuss it, dissect it,
Mm-hmm.
process it, digest it, and now you got it.
Yeah.
It's manifest.
And the terms.
And the terms.
That's super important.
That's super important. Top. Yeah, it's super important. Now you can take a picture because I'm going to erase that in a minute.
Okay.
Let me get out the way.
Yeah, like you just made. You just taught me like a year worth of work in like 10 minutes. But and I understand what you mean because we went through each step. I understand this. If I would have started here without having all this explained to me, which is what most of us do,
Right?
it makes it seem like you don't know what's going on.
Right.
When you actually know, you just don't know. You said you don't know it when they switch the dialogue around and say it in a different way.
Right.
So that's like for myself, I would get a lot of answers and I would have no idea how I got them, but I know it's right.
Right.
It happens to me all the time.
Right. Right. It's like, it's almost like spatial thinking. You see it, see it, see it. You just can't put it together for it to make sense. But you see it, see it, see it.
Mhm.
See it, I see it. It makes sense how I'm looking at it because everything is all over the page.
But I
just can't see it to tell you what it all means in one sentence.
Right. Right. That's my issue. Is like you said, I can see the problem.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I understand it, but I know the answer.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Right.
But when someone or my teachers in the past come and say, okay, yeah, you got the answer right, which is what happens when I take a test. The answer is right, but I cannot tell you how I got that answer because I've worked that problem 3 different ways. You know what I mean? And the terms are being switched around. So it's like, I think this is what they're talking about, but I'm not sure. So let me just guess the name. You know, we usually get it right, but you have no idea what you just did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? Sometimes students that are like that, they do pretty good on the test. No, seriously. Okay, but I know what you mean. I know what you mean. But once you get this, and it's not gonna take you much, and it's not gonna take you long. You're gonna be like right through it. Yeah. Yeah. You just need it to make sense.
That's it. And it has to make sense to me, or I'm not confident. So like a lot of things I do also in tests, if I think I know this right, I'm gonna go back and change the answer because I'm not sure. And then I create a way for this other one, and then it's like, well, why you just didn't go with the first answer? That because I didn't really understand
self-doubt.
Yeah.
Self-doubt. And it all comes from having confidence.
Yeah.
And it all comes from not being sure of yourself.
Yeah.
And so when you're taught at a young age, what you did was immediately wrong and not explain that it was wrong.
Or why it's wrong.
And why it's wrong.
Yeah.
Then if you being taught like that, then you're constantly nervous about the decisions you're making.
Yeah.
You know it, you just not sure because I don't want to get smacked. I don't want to.
Yeah.
It's persecution. Yeah. You know, learning should never be persecution. It should always be gradual. And explain, understand, repeat, explain again, and then we move on.
Yeah.
After you do that. Now, after it's been explained, processed, repeat, and you still do it your way like Burger King.
You just don't want it.
Then you don't want to learn.
Yeah, I get you.
You just being rebellious and hard-headed.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a big difference. Okay, can I erase this?
Yes, ma'am, I'm done.
Okay, awesome. We're doing so good. We're moving so along. What time do we have here?
It's 12.
It's 12.
It's 5 minutes till.
5 minutes till. Okay, we got 30 more minutes. So remind me because I have to be at dialysis. So just remind me.
I got you. I'll set us on.
Okay, thank you. Well, I'll get excited and I'll get lost in teaching. It's passion for me because I can teach all day long. All day long.
Well, I'm just happy that it's making sense to me. Yes. You know, because I struggle with word problems.
Yes.
I set it for 5 minutes before, so it kind of.
Yes. Set it 10 minutes before so I can wrap up for questions.
Okay.
And then maybe homework.
Okay, cool.
And then after that I can pack up my stuff and then we out of here.
Okay, cool.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for being my timekeeper.
No worries.
Okay, hold on. Yes, man. Let me share everything.
I'm not kidding. Just that little part right there. Just that you explain the terms to me. Remember that one question I told you I always struggle with on the test, which is that Ferris wheel question? Mm-hmm. It almost makes sense.
Yes.
That is like, that question haunts me.
Yes. Well, haunt you no more. Haunt you no more. And we might end up with probably the next few pages or 1 or 2 pages over. We'll probably end up encountering some word problems before we go today. Okay, so let's look at this. Now we understand that. So let's look at example number 1. Victor has a doctor's bill of $55 and a pharmacy bill of $12. Which operation shows the total of the bills? Victor has a doctor's bill of $55 and a pharmacy bill of $12. Which operation shows the total of the bills? Is it 55 plus 12? Is it 55 minus 12? Is it 55 times, 12 times 55? Is it 55 divided by 12? Or 12 minus 55?
I would say 55 plus 12 because you said meaning a total.
Very good. Amid, Rita, and Lilia are sharing equally $126 profit from their yard sale. Which operation shows how much each person will receive? Now, Amid, Rita, and Lilia are sharing equally. The 126 profit from the yard sale. Which operation shows how much each person will receive?
Let me answer. For me, I think it would be division. Okay, because there's 3 people and they're equal. You have to divide the 126 equally amongst the 3, like the hot pocket theory.
Like the hot pocket theory. Exactly. Okay, so let's go to 462. Now we're about to have some fun. Okay, so we have the chain family, number 1. The chain, let me show y'all this. This is what I'm working on. In case you want to pause the camera, if you can see it, I hope you can see it. Okay, so number 1, the chain family pays a car loan payment of $269 a month. Which of the following operations shows how much they will pay on the loan in a 12-month period? Which operation will you use?
For me, I believe that it's causing for multiplication because it's saying 12 months and 269. So you would find that by repeating 269 12 times.
Right. Now, let me explain. They have these operation choices on here, not so much for you to learn how to find the answer or to find the answer.
Okay.
They just want to know how you thinking. How are you thinking? Should you divide? Should you add? Should you multiply? They need to know how you're thinking.
Okay.
It's not so much solving this, because the answer to this, as far as the result answer to this problem, is not on here.
Okay.
So that's why they have that on the test.
So they just want to know if we know the operation.
I know the operation. And then you process it out. Okay. Number 2, last month, Teresa paid $137 to heat her home. This month, she paid $124. Which of the following operation shows the total cost of her heating her home for the 2 months?
I would say number 1, because again, you're asking for total, so you're asking me to add the units together.
Very good. You got it. So see, are you learning how to look for those key terms?
Yeah, that's what I'm listening for.
Yes, you're a great listener. You're listening, but I want you to be able to see it. Okay. Now, if you're one of those kind of auditory learners where you have to kind of read it out loud to yourself in order for you to get it on the test, that's fine.
That's why I'm each time for myself. That's how I learn. I'm writing down what the operation is. So I'm teaching myself to look for, like you said, what am I using?
Right. So like number 1, when it says which operation shows how much they will pay the loan in 12 months. When it says here that they made a car payment of $269, but which of the following loans, how much they will pay in the 12-month period. Yeah, you got that. But number 2 right here, the total cost, circle that phrase total cost.
Okay.
Circle the phrase total cost.
Okay, because the total is the term.
Right.
So going back to the previous one with the chain family, what would be, I mean, I know what it is because you taught it to me, but how would I identify it in the problem?
Okay, so look at 12-month period. In a 12-month period. That's going to kind of tell you, okay, I need to either A, multiply or divide.
Okay.
But it's asking you which of the following operations shows how much they will pay the loan. So they're gonna pay.
Mhm.
Okay, so circle the whole phrase pay on the loan in a 12-month period. If it was said a little bit differently, the Chain family loan was $12,000 a year. In order for them to pay a 12-month payment of $12,000, how many payments, or no, how many payments, how much would the payment be?
That would be division.
That would be division.
Okay.
Okay, if it was said like that,
Okay.
but it's not saying it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, do you understand what I mean?
I understand. I don't understand the division part, but I understand this part.
Okay, good. One step at a time.
Okay.
Okay, number 3. Carl filled up the gas tank on his delivery truck. The total cost of the gas is shown up on the pump. So we see the pump, the picture of the pump says $28. If he paid for the gas with a $50 bill, which of the following operations shows how much money Carl should get back?
Yes.
Should get back in change. Which operation would you use?
So what this word problem is saying, the total, which is the $50, what he has, and then it's asking me to deduct or subtract or get back from the 28. So I would use subtraction.
Subtraction. Very good. Okay, let's look at number 4. Kim needs to read a 348-page book for class. She has 3 weeks to read it. And she plans to read an equal number of pages each week. Which of the following operations shows how many pages Kim must read per week? So Kim needs to read a 348-page book. She has 3 weeks to read that 348-page book. And she plans to read the equal number of pages each week. What operation would you use?
So honestly, I'm guessing, just picking out the terms,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it'd be division.
Mm-hmm.
It would be okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So if you divide 3 weeks into 348, that's going to tell you how many pages she needs to read a week.
So besides, because like this one can be kind of confusing.
Okay.
Because equal could mean total. So like somebody who's like learning, and if I'm doing my test, like that's for me. I would probably think it's addition first. So what in this paragraph makes it like the term or the phrase that says divide?
Okay. So let's look at this. She needs to read 340 pages. $348 pages. She has 3 weeks to read them. Read the book. Okay? Now, it's telling her she plans to read the equal number per week. All right? Which operation would you do? Okay, so she needs to read this 348-page book. Okay, she has 3 weeks to do it. Okay, so how would you know how many pages it is per week?
That's what I was thinking. So
I want you to think about that.
Yeah.
Read it, and I want you to think, how would I know she would do so many pages per week? Think about it out loud, and then say it to yourself.
Well, I guess because she plans to read an equal number
An equal number of pages.
of pages.
Okay, so equal
To the
number.
3 weeks, right?
Uh-huh. So every week, how many pages? So
Okay. And the only way you would be able to get there is to divide the 3 weeks into the sum.
mhm.
I have a question now. So I get this way, but sometimes they do like tricky stuff, and it might be like, to me, it's easier to understand this one because it's 3 weeks and the threes. Well, what if the week number was different from how many weeks she was reading?
Okay, okay,
That would confuse me.
okay, so put a pin right there.
Okay,
We'll come back to that question.
okay,
Let's do this first. That's a good question.
okay,
We'll put a pin right there.
okay.
Let's do this. So let's work it out. So maybe you'll see it a little bit better. So 3 into 3 into 3 goes one time. 3 into 4 goes one time. 3 into 8 goes. So she needs to read 116 pages per week
Mm.
to equal to 348. Again, I use the term equal.
So equal can be equal to the sum. It can't equal can't
No,
be division, right?
not equal to the sum. Equal to the amount.
Okay.
How many parts
Oh, okay. So
that
like,
were equal to the amount. Think of the hot pocket.
I was just about to say, I'm trying to think of the hot pocket thing. So, okay,
I gave you a box of 348 hot pockets.
okay.
You have 3 weeks to eat 348 hot pockets. Well, you're gonna be at 6.
I don't know why the hot pocket thing makes sense to me.
Because everybody likes food.
Okay. 'Cause I was,
Everybody don't like books.
yeah, no, that makes sense.
Everybody don't like to read, but you do like to eat. It's necessary.
Yeah.
So if I gave you 348 hot pockets, and I said, Chelsea, you have 3 weeks to eat 348 hot pockets, or else I can't pay you this $1,000.
My God. Okay.
Okay. So you be like, okay, how many hot pockets per week do I have to eat?
Yes. And the only way to find that out now, I don't know if it's my brain, but now it makes sense with the hot pockets. But I don't know.
Because it's food.
That's what it is.
Everybody likes food.
It's something that I enjoy.
Right.
Okay. Because that's immediately what I thought about. I'm like, okay, let me transfer this into the hot pocket thing, and it makes sense. Yeah.
Now, if you really want to break it down, let's break it down.
Okay.
Now you're saying, okay, 116 hot pockets a week.
Right.
So
okay.
there's 7 days in a week.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to break down how many hot pockets a day do I have to eat?
Yeah.
So 7 can't go into 1,
No.
but 7 can go into 11.
One time.
One time. One over that one, not this one, over that one. 7 times 1 is?
It's 7.
Is 7. 4. Okay, now we bring down to 6. 7 and 46 goes how many times?
7. No, 6.
7 times 6 is?
46? No. 47. 7 times 6.
7 times 6 is 47?
Wait, hold on.
Do you calculate it right quick? 7 times 6.
42.
42. Okay. All right. So you have to eat 16.4 hot pockets a day.
Okay.
You want to break that down in an 8-hour period or a 10-hour period?
No, we
Okay, you got it?
Yeah.
You got the concept?
You know what? I was just thinking about my paycheck. Like when you get a paycheck is another thing. Okay, Chelsea, I'm gonna pay you $348 over a 3-week span of time. How much do you make every week? $116
a week.
a week.
And then if you
And
work
which makes
8 hours,
sense because
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And if you work 8 hours a day,
Yeah.
per week,
you would divide 8 into 116.
and that'll tell you how much
You getting every day, which is something that I believe it or not, subconsciously we calculate our paycheck all the time. I know I calculate my check before it even come to me. So on the hindsight, I can do that. But like you said, when they switch the terms, that's what I have to be able to recognize.
exactly.
Hot pockets, paychecks, makes sense.
Everybody like money. Everybody like food.
Okay.
We may not care for water.
Nothing.
If you say juice and soda,
Yeah.
that's something we need. But if you say juice and soda, oh yeah.
So would you suggest, like, when for a person like me that struggles with test taking, when I come across problems like this, I should try to put it
In
into the
terms
hot
of
pocket term or the paycheck term?
a paycheck term. Think about it like that. Now, if it's an algebra thing, that's gonna be a little different. But
Okay.
something that's numeracy like this, you could use that,
Okay,
but not an algebra.
of course.
Okay.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay. Good. Okay. So you understand it now.
I got this.
Okay. You got it. Okay. So let's look at number 5.
Okay.
Mark starts with $327 in his account. If he writes a check for $189, which of the following operations show how much he will be left in his account? Will be left.
Subtraction.
Subtraction. Very good. Number 6. 4 friends carpool to work together Monday and through Friday. Each week, they pay a total of $62 for gas, parking, and tolls. Which of the following operations show you how they could split the cost evenly? Split.
So split would be division?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Would be division. Exactly. Okay, you got it.
Because that word split.
Yes.
And I got it wrote on here big. Split.
Yes, and I had to emphasize it too, but you got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we have operations with whole numbers, adding and subtracting whole numbers. Mija, where are we in time?
It's 12:12.
12:12?
But I was gonna actually don't get back into this.
Yeah.
Okay.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna set up your software.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, and I'm gonna close out this video. Okay,
That'll work. Thank you.
you're welcome. Okay, so thank you so much. As you can see, we have done some math here. I hope that you all can see that. Hopefully next time I'll have a video where I can zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out. Okay? All right. Okay, well, we're going to get ready to close this out. Thank you so much for capturing the math today. I had a wonderful time. If you have any questions, please email me, the GED School at outlook.com, GED School at outlook.com, or you can text me 281-723-4762. And this is Mrs. Harper, and thank you so much for choosing my school and allowing me to be your teacher. Thank you.